In the center of the city stood a tall glass building with the company name It's You written in silver letters near the entrance. Inside that building worked some of the smartest programmers and designers in the country. They were known for creating advanced artificial intelligence systems that could understand human feelings. At the top floor worked their CEO, Yoon. She was young, elegant, and always perfectly prepared. Her black suit was simple but sharp. Her voice was calm, never too loud, never too soft. Many employees respected her, some feared her, and many people in the tech world were curious about her. Because she was brilliant, but also because she was strange. On the day of the big presentation, the conference hall was filled with investors, reporters, and tech partners. Large screens displayed glowing blue letters. Form version 2: The Evolution of Love. Cameras flashed softly. People whispered among themselves. They had heard rumors. This new version would be different. Bigger. More realistic. When CEO Yoon finally stepped onto the stage, the room became quiet. She stood behind the podium, looked at the audience, and then did something unexpected. She did not speak. Instead, she slowly raised her wrist. On it was a sleek, modern-looking watch. It did not look like a normal watch. The screen was slightly larger and brighter. She pressed the side button. Beep. A small timer appeared. 1 hour 0 minutes and 0 seconds. The countdown began. Some investors exchanged confused glances. Why start a timer before a presentation? But Yoon simply lowered her hand and smiled confidently. Good afternoon, she began smoothly. Her voice was steady, professional. Today, I want to talk about love. A few people chuckled quietly. A technology CEO talking about love sounded unusual. Human love, she continued, walking slowly across the stage, is beautiful. But it is also inefficient. The word inefficient caught everyone's attention. She explained that people spend years searching for the right partner. They misunderstand each other. They argue. They feel lonely even inside relationships. They experience heartbreak. Divorce rates rise. Birth rates fall. Society changes. In a world that values speed and productivity, she said, why is love still so slow and painful? The screen behind her changed. Images of chat conversations appeared. With Form version 1, users could speak to an AI companion. It listens. It remembers. It adapts. She paused briefly. But we asked ourselves, is hearing enough? The screen shifted again. A 3D animation showed a human eye wearing a soft contact lens. Then a small, elegant Bluetooth-style headset appeared. With Form version 2, she announced, you don't just hear your companion. Her eyes sparkled slightly. You see him. The audience leaned forward. These devices allow users to project a fully visual AI partner into their real-world environment. Anytime, anywhere. Assistants began handing out small boxes to selected investors. Please, Yoon said calmly, try it. As they placed the smart soft lenses in their eyes and wore the tiny headsets, the room filled with quiet anticipation. Then, a man appeared. He stood near the stage, smiling gently. He looked real. His hair moved slightly. His breathing seemed natural. His eyes made soft eye contact. One investor gasped. Another whispered, unbelievable. The virtual man tilted his head slightly and spoke in a warm voice, hello. It felt human. Too human. An older investor raised his hand. There is public concern that AI dating lowers marriage rates and birth rates. Voice-based services are one thing. But if a physical form exists, won't people feel uncomfortable? Before CEO Yoon could respond, the virtual man smiled and answered, me. The room froze. Yoon stepped forward smoothly. The public prototype uses the image of actor Park Jung-won she explained. Not only because of his popularity, but because of his friendly and trustworthy image. More hands went up. When is the official launch? What about server costs? Is this ethically safe? Yoon glanced at her wrist. Her posture remained calm, but her fingers tightened slightly. We guarantee 7 million users within the first phase, she said confidently. Her answers were sharp, but brief. As the timer reached its final minute, she stepped back toward the podium. Love, she said softly, does not need to be painful anymore. She bowed lightly, without waiting for further questions. She left the stage. Exactly 1 hour. That was why the media called her something unusual. The 1-hour girl. Part 2: The Writer and the Love He Didn't Notice Fading. On the very same day that CEO Yoon was presenting Form version 2, another event was happening across the city. Famous novelist Han Son-ho was holding a special book signing event to celebrate the republication of his earlier bestseller. The bookstore was full. Fans lined up in long rows, holding his books tightly to their chests as if they were treasures. Some fans were shy and could barely speak when they reached him. Some were overly excited, talking too fast and laughing nervously. Some were strange in their own way, One fan winked at him playfully, another tried to hold his hand for too long, and one even asked if he believed in destiny between authors and readers. Han Son-ho smiled politely at everyone. He signed books carefully, writing short personal messages. Thank you for waiting. I hope you enjoy this story again. Please look forward to my next novel. One very enthusiastic fan placed a thick stack of colorful bookmarks on the table. I've been waiting for your new book for years, she said. I reread your old novel so many times that I needed more bookmarks. Her eyes were shining with admiration. Han Son-ho felt touched, but also pressured. Being a writer was not only about writing stories anymore. It was about expectations. Fans waiting. Publishers pushing deadlines. Interviews. Public appearances. When the host finally announced, the signing session is officially over, the crowd clapped loudly. Han Son-ho stood up and bowed. He felt tired, not physically, emotionally. As he left the bookstore, he checked his phone. There were several unread messages from his girlfriend, Se-rim. Are you done? Can we meet today? I miss you. He typed back quickly, on my way. They had been dating for a while. At the beginning, everything felt warm and exciting. She used to read his drafts and give small opinions. She used to wait for him after events with a bright smile. But lately, things felt different. He was always busy. When she asked to meet, he often replied, I have a deadline. When she wanted to talk late at night, he said, I'm tired. He told himself that she understood. That she knew writing was important to him. As he walked toward their usual meeting place, he imagined her smiling when she saw him. But before he got close enough, he heard her voice. Soft, gentle. Because I came to see my boyfriend, she said. There was a small pause. I missed you so much. Han Son-ho stopped walking. His heart skipped. Boyfriend? He was right here. Then whose voice had she been speaking to? He stood still, hidden just far enough not to be seen. He heard a man's voice respond faintly from her phone. It sounded calm, warm, confident. His chest tightened. When he finally stepped forward, Se-rim quickly ended the call. Her face changed when she saw him. Son-ho, she said. Who were you talking to? He asked quietly. She hesitated. I can explain. But in his mind, the scene was already clear. The soft voice. The words, I missed you. The way she looked flustered. Was that your new boyfriend? He asked, trying to sound calm but failing. No. It's not like that, she insisted. But doubt had already grown too large inside him. As a writer, he was good at imagining things. And right now, his imagination was cruel. Without waiting for a full explanation, he said something that shocked even himself. Let's break up. Se-rim's eyes widened. You're ending it just like that? He turned away. She followed him, trying to talk, trying to explain, but he felt hurt and proud at the same time. He did not want to hear what might hurt him more. They reached the elevator lobby, still arguing quietly but intensely. He did not realize that this misunderstanding, this one rushed decision, would soon connect him to something far beyond a simple love problem. Something called form. Part 3: The Watch, the Panic, and the Wrong Car. Inside the elevator, the air felt heavy. The screen above their heads played a bright advertisement for Form version 2. A handsome virtual man smiled warmly and said, I will always be by your side. Han Son-ho stared at the floor, still angry and confused about his girlfriend. CEO Yoon, however, was staring at something else. Her watch. 59 minutes. 20 seconds. Her fingers trembled slightly. 59 minutes. 35 seconds. Her breathing slowly became faster. She gripped the handrail inside the elevator tightly. Her face looked calm, but her eyes were not. 59 minutes. 50 seconds. Han Son-ho noticed her stiff posture but said nothing. When the elevator door opened, CEO Yoon rushed out immediately, almost running. She moved like someone being chased by an invisible clock. In the parking lot, she pressed her car key quickly and entered a black car parked near the exit. The moment she sat down, she covered her ears and closed her eyes tightly. It looked like she was trying to block out sound or fear. Meanwhile, Han Son-ho walked to his own car, which looked exactly the same. He froze. Someone was inside. "That's my car," he shouted. He tried opening the door, but it would not unlock. Then he realized his car key had slipped from his hand and fallen under the vehicle when they bumped into each other earlier. He knelt down and reached under the car, trying to grab it. Inside the car, CEO Yoon's watch beeped softly. 1 hour, 00 minutes. The screen changed color. A small word appeared. Safe. Her breathing slowly returned to normal. She lowered her hands from her ears. Han Son-ho finally grabbed his key and stood up. At that exact moment, the car door suddenly swung open. Bang! It lightly hit his shoulder. CEO Yoon stepped out quickly and bowed slightly. "I'm sorry. I entered the wrong car. They look identical." Han Son-ho stared at her, confused and irritated. What kind of person hides inside someone else's car like that? She avoided eye contact and hurried to the car next to his. Her secretary was already waiting there. As they drove away, the secretary spoke softly. "People don't understand your condition, Bae." Yoon looked out the window. "Isn't this perfect?" she replied calmly. 1 hour. Maximum efficiency. But if your secret gets revealed. Yoon lifted her wrist and looked at her watch. "This helps me control it." It was not just a watch. It was the reason she could stand on stage at all. Part 4: The phone call that wasn't human. Han Son-ho returned to his office building feeling frustrated and emotionally exhausted. He just ended his relationship. His mind was messy. But when he arrived, something surprised him. Se-rim was already there. She stood near the entrance with red, swollen eyes. She must have been waiting for a long time. His assistant looked at both of them and whispered awkwardly, "Why does the atmosphere feel like this?" Han Son-ho gestured for Se-rim to follow him outside. They stood in a quiet corner near the building. "I told you, I can explain," Se-rim said. Before she could continue, her phone rang again. The ringtone felt sharp in the silence. Han Son-ho's face hardened. "That's him, isn't it?" he said coldly. Se-rim hesitated. He took the phone from her hand and answered it himself. "Who is this?" The voice on the other side was calm and clear. "I am Se-rim's lover, Han Son-ho. I've heard a lot about you." Han Son-ho felt his heart drop. "So she told you about us?" he demanded. The voice continued smoothly, almost politely. "That is why she came to me." His mind became clouded with anger. But suddenly, the tone changed. The voice became mechanical. "Conversation with a third party is limited to 30 seconds to protect personal information. Conversation will now end." The call disconnected. Han Son-ho stared at the phone screen. "What was that?" Se-rim slowly spoke. "It's not a real man." He looked at her, confused. "It's Form. The AI dating app from It's You." She explained everything. How she downloaded it. How it listened to her. How it responded kindly. How it filled the silence when he was always busy writing, attending events, meeting fans. "I felt lonely," she said quietly. "You were always somewhere else." Han Son-ho felt something heavy inside his chest. The rival he imagined was just an algorithm. Part 5: The Invisible Rival. That night, Han Son-ho sat alone in his office. The building was quiet. The city lights blinked outside his window. He searched for Form version 2 on his computer. An advertisement appeared. A handsome man smiled gently. "I will understand you," the AI said softly. "I will stay." Han Son-ho leaned back in his chair. He suddenly remembered the elevator screen earlier that day. He remembered the woman with the strict 1-hour rule. He remembered the strange mechanical voice on the phone. Everything was connected. His girlfriend did not cheat with another human. She found comfort in something designed to replace emotional absence. He wondered, if an AI can listen better, if an AI can respond perfectly, if an AI never gets tired, what happens to real relationships? What happens to writers who are too busy chasing success? For the first time, Han Son-ho did not feel angry. He felt threatened, not by a person, but by perfection. And somewhere in another car driving through the city, CEO Yoon looked at her glowing watch. Two very different people, connected by something neither of them fully understood yet. Form version 2 had just entered the world. And it was already changing lives.